This would be an absolute heist for the Boston Celtics, as we know it, Jrue Holiday is one of the names the Celtics fans are gauging on the trade market and expecting to be sent away with the second apron restrictions coming into play. But will Brad Stevens be absolutely able to cook up with this latest report of a team being linked to Jrue Holiday, in which they possibly have the best package for the Boston Celtics to net in return to still stay financially stable and save some money, but also still stay competitive in this Eastern Conference? So we're going to dive into it. We're going to explore this potential trade and explore why it is the best option that the Celtics have been wowed away with. We'll be diving into all of this and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love and support for Patrick and I on these videos, and I want to know what your thoughts are on this whole Jrue Holiday situation and how the Celtics should try to manage this second apron restriction. So let me know if you would do this trade, or if you would even consider trading Jrue Holiday coming up this off-season in the summer down below in the comments. But without further ado, let's dive in. Let's get into the news at hand today. Make sure to grab that snack, and let's get into it. As once again, this is some very interesting stuff to be diving into and to be discussing about this Boston Celtics team revolving around one of their star players in Jrue Holiday. As he's been known to be one of the guys out on the trade market for the Boston Celtics as they look to shed some salary, and some teams have been interested in the veteran shot creator and defensive piece from this Boston Celtics team. With the latest report, we see the newest team that is linked to them, and courtesy of Mark Stein, we can see that they are interested in a point guard. And we all know that they're going to be interested in a point guard with Kyrie Irving going down, with bringing in Cooper Flagg alongside Anthony Davis. This team in Dallas wants to still stay competitive, and without Kyrie Irving for the first half of the season, would like to find another point guard to substantially hold that role over until Kyrie returns, and then can similarly simultaneously play alongside Kyrie as well. And the three guards that they've been linked to name are Lonzo Ball, Jrue Holiday, and Chris Paul. And I think that these three names are very telling on the direction of Dallas and how big they're going to be swinging for the fences, as league sources say that Dallas is expected to at least explore whether any feasible trade pathways to Boston's Jrue Holiday, even though it is complicated, as that would likely be given the 3 years and $104 million still left on his contract, while also maintaining an interest in a far more reasonable trade target, as they've discussed in Lonzo Ball, with maintaining another name to monitor as Chris Paul, free agent who just turned 40 on May 6th, but also has played and started in 182 games last season as a San Antonio Spur. And from what this report can really concoct to me for Dallas is that they're going to go out and they're going to swing for the fences for a Jrue Holiday trade first, right? That's probably their main target. Obviously, Holiday being a little bit more prolific than a guy like Lonzo Ball and Chris Paul at this point of his career, all due to the fact that he has been on a championship contending team in Boston and showed that he can do that quality at this level. Chris Paul, at this point of his career, like you mentioned, is 40, my favorite player of all time in the entire NBA of history. Is a well-respected player, but at this point is a little bit more of a bench point guard. And obviously Lonzo Ball can start and be a solid creator alongside Kyrie Irving, and is a little bit cheaper, but obviously has those injury quarrels right alongside of him. So it seems like Jrue Holiday is kind of their main piece, and if they can try to get him and swing him from the Celtics team, that will be the home run swing that they take to still stay relevant and still have some feasible paying contracts, while also the Celtics could look to save some money. But also, if that contract is a little out of reach, they might go into a different direction there. But as we all know, with this Boston Celtics team, the second apron is a big thing, and Jrue Holiday's name has been mentioned in some trade talks. And recently, for what I've been seeing, I don't know about you guys, but all the trades on Twitter have just been absolutely gross and absolutely disgusting. But I personally think that the Dallas Mavericks not only is the best trade for them to get a quality player in Jrue Holiday to help them in their push with Kyrie Irving being down, and could once again complement Kyrie Irving in that backcourt duo. But not only just that, I think that it's the best trade for the Celtics in getting a return as well. So let's dive into that, and what do the Celtics do, and if they make this move, who could they potentially get in return? Well, the mock trade, it does say failed at this moment, but it would be PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. And as we all know, both of those players are on expiring deals, which would not only help the Boston Celtics in the long run if they wanted to wash away these salaries, but potentially could use them to flip them in the long run, but fills in the holes that the Celtics have at that center department with key free agents like Al Horford and Luke Kornet, if they're unable to retain them, or if they do trade Kristaps Porziņģis, finding in a solid, once again, starter in this lineup as a rim protector for this Celtics team and a rebounder. Gafford could be that fit, but also PJ Washington could be a perfect wing to kind of play that role for Jayson Tatum this season, as we all know, with the torn ACL is going to be out, and the Celtics do would need to address that wing room and adding some depth as well in trading away these contracts in Holiday and or Porziņģis. Not only do they have to fill the role that player plays, but also fill in the role for Jayson Tatum, and a player like Washington could easily bring that in as a three-point scorer, low post guy. Obviously not to the level and effect of Jayson Tatum, but can supplement that scoring at the wing position. Now, to do this deal, the Mavericks would also have to trade away another contract. In this deal, they trade away Olivier Maxence Prosper to the Nets. Don't think that Olivier Maxence Prosper will be the guy in the deal. I would expect it to be Dwight Powell before spot track, since he has a trade option. You cannot actually make the trade done with Dwight Powell at this very moment. So I had to throw Maxence Prosper in there. Don't think he'll be traded. I do think that the Mavericks do value his youth and ability, but if the Celtics were to potentially pivot and look at a different deal with Dallas, I think he could be sent to Boston as well, right? This is not the only trade that could be done with Boston and Dallas. There are multiple ways that the Celtics could get a deal done to even shed some more money, bringing in a contract, and maybe Klay Thompson, maybe Najee Marshall, and Olivier Maxence Prosper, really filling out that roster with 3 contracts compared to 1, while also shedding some money and salary in the meantime. Those types of things are things, once again, to keep an eye on with the Boston Celtics. And one thing to be known with the Celtics team is that they do trade Jrue Holiday for another player. They, once again, are looking to shed salary. The Celtics are not going to trade Jrue Holiday to go help out a team and take back 2 or 3 contracts that equal the same value as $32 million. No, they're not. They're going to be trading for less value because, once again, they want to shed some of those contracts, drop below that apron, so they have that flexibility in the offseason to reach out to an Al Horford, to reach out to a Luke Kornet, to reach out to any other possible free agent that would like to come to the Boston Celtics on a veteran minimum contract and help them be able to find a role within the Celtics team, but also keep this squad afloat once again. And like Bobby Manning said, if you're trying to shed money, I'm not sure you're bringing back both and PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, though both being on 1-year deals does help the Boston Celtics, as basically if they were able to do this deal, right, they could bring back Gafford, they could bring back PJ Washington, and then going into the next season could just wipe their hands clean of this salary and let both of them walk in free agency. Now, obviously, that would not be great for the Celtics. I would not see them kind of going that route, as obviously you're just trading away a player and then just losing all the value back. And who knows, maybe with the Porziņģis deal, or maybe even with another Jrue Holiday deal, or the deal that the Celtics do get done for a potential Jrue Holiday flip, they do get back a contract that's a little bit higher up, like a $17 million expiring deal, maybe like a Maxi Kleber or something like that, that is going to be kind of just used as salary filler. But ultimately, I do believe that the Celtics kind of getting guys like, and they could just walk away with a Kleber contract to be okay with it. Kind of with Gafford and with Washington, you would not be okay with it. But it's definitely interesting to see what the Celtics can get. Like I mentioned, this is my perfect trade for the Boston Celtics. I think getting back Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington really fills in those holes for Tatum and Porziņģis once again. And if you look to move off of Porziņģis and shed even more salary, bringing back Luke Kornet then fills in that hole in that backup room for the center department. And then you can ultimately use the rest of your money to go and try to find out another defensive point guard to kind of fill in that Jrue Holiday role. But once again, let me know your thoughts. Once again, the Celtics are going to be having a lot of news, a lot of drama, a lot of talk surrounding this team as the second apron restrictions are coming into play, and with the offseason getting closer and closer, as we know it, the playoffs are fizzling down in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference semis. We're already 3 games into both series. We're almost close to the NBA Finals, and then once the NBA Finals ends, anything can happen starting into the offseason. Teams can start making moves, and it's going to be very, very fun. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like I said, I think this would be a heist for Jrue Holiday compared to all the other trades that we have seen out there on the market and with other suitors interested in Holiday. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.